Hi there, and welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today we'll be walking you through your 2016 Jayco 36 FBTS. We're just going to start off at the back of the unit. If you notice up top, you are pre-wired for a Wi-Fi antenna, and then down below you have a 2-inch receiver. Around the left side of the unit, you do have your main power cord inlet. Notice it is on a retract system, so you can just hit that button and it'll start retracting. And as you pull it out, it'll let some out. It is a 50 amp trailer. We also will include a 30 amp dog bone adapter that looks just like this. Just keep it in mind when you go down to 30 amps of power, you'll only be able to run one air conditioner at a time, not two. A little further down the unit, you got the antenna just for reception. You do have your range hood flap right here, always making sure that you have that unflapped whenever you get to your campsite. That way you're evacuating those fumes. And whenever you go traveling, you are just pushing it closed, snapping it into place. That way no excess dust gets inside the unit. Right here, you are gonna have your main sewer outlet. This valve here is just to gate the end of the flow. You're just taking this knob, twisting it off, pulling. Take a note of those two ears there. Those are gonna be the same two ears that hook up to your sewer that your sewer hose has. The rest of the controls are just inside the unit. You do have a sewer hose holder here. You got your hot water service port. Opening that up gives you access to that drain valve. Turning that counterclockwise allows that tank to drain, and tightening it clockwise tightens it up. Whenever you get to your campsite, you just want to give that pressure relief valve a pull. There should be a shot of water coming out of there, letting you know that the tank's full. We currently have the tank drained, ready for the customer to pick up. That's why there's no water coming out of there. Right up top, you do have your first black tank flush. This is going to do the tank that is for the little bathroom in the main living space. Inside here, you're just taking these, pulling this up. It's going to give you access to all your water functions, and you also have an exterior shower, which does just retract in like so. Keep in mind you do have a pump switch there as well, but the switch to turn on the water pump, there also is one inside. Take a note of these valves. It does give you an explanation on what way to point them for whatever you wanted to use it on. Like for example, we are currently on dry camping, so that the tank is, you're sucking from the tank with the water pump on. You got your city water connection right here. So to fill your freshwater tank, you would just have to pop that out, turn those valves to how those are orientated, and it would fill your fresh tank. And then you do have the rest of your tank gates right here. You got your black, your gray, and another black. I would always start with your black tanks first, as it's going to be your dirtiest water filled from your toilets, and then you can come behind that with the gray tanks, as it's typically a little cleaner water. And then inside here, you do have in the front storage area in a sliding tray device. Pushing that down allows you to pull this tray right out, so it can give you access to all that stuff. And then to get it back inside, you're just pushing it. You also have an ease stow inside here, so to get that to work, you're just lifting that up, lifting it up off its safety latch, pulling down, and it'll come down and give you access to some more stuff. And then to push it in, you're pushing that in, locks into place. On the wall here, you do have a bunch of excess storage, as well as some adapters. This is going to be for your water filter, which I'll show you in a second. And then right back there, you're going to notice there is a power bar that plugs into your exterior TV on the other side, as well as your fridge. You do have to turn that on for all that to get power. Right behind this little panel here is going to be your water filter. So that'll give you access to that, and it'll also give you access to your water pump. Now, if you had your silver 751 key, you could open this up, and that's going to give you access to run your landing gear, and as well as your auto leveling system. Inside here, you got your two 30-pound propane tanks. Opening them up, you're just turning those counterclockwise, and it opens right on up. You got your selector valve with it pointed this way, you're drawing off this tank. If you were to point it to that way, it would draw off that tank. You also have your battery disconnect switch right on the wall. Inside this compartment here is just a lot of storage space, as well as where you get access to your battery. On this side of the unit, pop this open. You could get a third propane tank hooked up into here if you were to want to do so. You just have to get the regulator and everything set up. You got two 110 plug-ins here. And then on this side, it's just the other side of that compartment, opening this guy up. You do have your fridge. Then you have your TV. The TV is pretty simple to get down. You're just pushing it up and pulling it down, and it'll fold down. And then to get it up, you're just pushing it up until it clicks into place, and then it stays up. You also have your central vac system right in here, where you can hook up to that. All the stuff for that is inside in the front closet, which I'll show you in a minute. And then the switch for that, you turn it on, it's just right on the wall. And then you do have a main GFI plug right here. You got reset up top, or reset on the bottom, reset, or test on the bottom, reset in the middle. And then right down below, you're gonna notice you do have two low point drains, which are located right here. And then on the other side, you have another low point fresh tank drain is right here. Opening that guy up would drain your fresh tank. Right here, you're going to notice you do have a spare tire manual crank, so there's going to be a tool for that located inside. You're just going to put that tool onto this shaft, spin it, and then it'll allow that tire to lower down to the ground. Again, another low point drain right here as well. Opening up that guy will allow that to drain all the lines, water inside the line. Get your stairs down, you're just pulling down and flipping them out. Take your assist handle, push it up, hold it 90 degrees, and it locks into place. Allow you to open up that door and climb on inside. You do have your light switch on the wall. Turning this one light switch on turns all the lights on the wall on in the main living space. And then you have another light right down below there to turn on that little entryway light above our head. And then you have your main kind of control panel. You got your entryway light switch, which is already activated by those two switches down there. You got your ceiling lights, your accent lights, your security lights, as well as some exterior lights, which are located up front. And then you do just have all your slide out buttons, as well as your awning buttons to extend the awnings. You're just pushing that button out. The awning's going to start making its way out once fully extended. You're going to see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. Now, if we're to start raining, you can take any arm, front or rear, and just push down on those two pins on either side, and it'll allow you to change the pitch of the awning head, allowing water to then run off. Or you can extend it out. Now, if we're to start getting to about 5 to 10 kilometer an hour winds, you're going to want to make sure you do bring that awning in. You also have another awning on this slide out, and it's going to work the same way as this one, just extending it till you see the little flap hang down in the back of the metal tube. And then you have your slide out switches. Pushing and holding those buttons extend. Those awning is going to start making, or the slide out's going to start making its way out. Once fully extended, you're going to hear those motors wind up and cut out. Same thing for the other side. And the slide outside the bedroom is just located on the wall here, right around that corner. You're just pushing that button out, and the slide out starts making its way out. Stepping down into the main living space, you do have a little guest bathroom with just a toilet and a sink with hot and cold water. Then on the wall here, you do have your fantastic vent control. Pushing that button up will start raising that fan and turn it on. You can turn the speed up or down with either button on the left. And then to close it, just pushing that button down, and that's going to start banging its way down. We do have a little pantry inside here, the garbage pan. And then you got your thermostat on the wall. Pushing the buttons up or down at any time turns the temperature, the set temperature up or down. You got your fan speed control, high and low. Then you got your thermostat control. So this you do have 2 air conditioners inside here. This thermostat's going to control this rear AC as well as the furnace. You got your fan mode, which always has to stay on auto when you do run the furnace. And then you got your mode settings. So off is one from the left. Turning it all the way to the left goes to cool. And then you got gas heat and electric heat. Gas heat's going to fire up the furnace, which runs off propane. Electric heat reverses the operation of the air conditioner, and instead of blowing in cold air and blowing out hot air, it's going to blow out the cold air and blow in the hot air. And then your furnace will fire up on propane. You got your residential style fridge. One thing to note, we currently do not have the water or ice maker hooked up. If you were to like to do so, you'd have to contact your parts department. Otherwise, all the other controls are right there. And always making sure that you do latch that travel strap whenever you're traveling. That way that fridge can't open up and cause any damage. Both the furnace and the stove run off propane. This LP detector is going to start detecting if you get to worrisome levels. If that guy does start going off, don't panic. Just open up some windows and turn on that fantastic fan, and it should help evacuate all those fumes. You got your main island with your kitchen sink with hot and cold water. You do have this little slide up port here, which gives you a few outlets. You got your convection oven, which does have a light built in as well as your exhaust fan. And then you got your stove, which pretty much works just like home, minus always being mindful that it is glass, so just being careful with that. Pushing it all the way back, locking it into place. Turn those igniters over to high, and it fires right on up. And the same thing goes for the oven. Although I will say that sometimes it can take a few minutes just to purge all the air out of the lines if you've had the propane off for a while. So just be mindful of that. Sometimes it doesn't always fire right away, especially the oven can take the longest. So just pushing and holding it into that pilot option and just hitting the sparker. And eventually you should get a flame. Sorry, the sparker does only do the top burners. You'd have to get a lighter underneath here and light this coupler right here. And the oven would light right up. Unfortunately, I do not have a lighter on me today. Always being careful with this glass cover. Bring it down, that way you don't run the risk of breaking it. You got some cupboard space all around. You're going to get to your main entertainment center. Some lights up top, just on its own center button. To get that TV up, you're just pushing that up arrow and it brings the TV up. Or if you want more counter space, you push the down button and it'll start making its way down. And then you have your little fireplace. You got your power button on the far left. Right next to that, you get to your different flames you can have. And then you get to your heat mode, pushing and holding it for a second. We'll turn that on. And you get that little red light come on, and it should start pushing out hot air. And then you got the timer right beside it, which goes anywhere from 30 minutes to 9 hours. Power button on the left to turn it off. Some more storage space around it. Taking note of this little footrest here, it does have to sit in the middle here so that the slides don't contact it when they're coming in. It's very crucial that you do that. That way you don't damage the slide outs. You got your couch area. All the blinds in the unit do work the same way. You do have a little bug screen behind the blind. Just pulling down on it once and pushing it up will help it retract. And then you got the blind on top, which works the same way. They sit, relieve them at one time, and it'll start retracting itself. You do have some accent lights around here too, just again on their own little button there, with some storage space above. You got your slide out again with lots of lighting and seating. Again, whenever you are traveling, always making sure that you latch the travel straps for the chairs. You got a residential style switch here, turning that on. Just turns on the fan overhead in the living space there. And then you get your inverter controller. Just pushing that button does turn it on. That's pretty much all you got to do there. And it'll tell you your input voltage, your input current, as well as your output kilowatts. Inside here, it's just a little coat area, I guess. Underneath is going to be your main fuse and breaker panel. Whenever a breaker trips, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it, and then you have all the fuses above. Taking a step into the bedroom space, light switch just on the wall right next to that slide out button, which I already showed you. And then you got your second thermostat, which is only going to control this front AC. Works the same way as the other thermostat I showed you. You got your bedroom, which does have some storage underneath the bed. You're just having to pick the foot of that bed up. It gives you a lot of storage underneath. Little entertainment center with some plugins. And then you're gonna kind of get into the main bathroom area. Taking a step inside, you got your bathroom sink, hot and cold water on both, storage space around. You got your shower, toilet inside here. You do have a washer dryer. Again, if you're running the washer or the dryer, and you're only on 30 amp service, making sure you don't have that air conditioner running is crucial. Otherwise, you could trip the system. And then just back here is just some storage area where, again, you're going to get access to some of those parts for the central vac system underneath there. And just some other storage space. That's going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.